Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
This session is being recorded.
El Paso, Texas. Krishna, Jim.
Hi, Hari. Okay. Is it recording?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm told it's recording today, so that's good. So thank you all for coming. This is part 2. And yesterday we talked about the fear of being controlled. So what happened? Something just happened.
I just shared the screen.
Oh,
I just shared
okay.
it works.
So we're going to be reading I'm going to read and speak from the first part of the 11th canto, 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is very interesting. Many people wonder, well, just for those of you who weren't with us yesterday, let me go to the 2 verses that we're talking about. That kind of started. It's based on these 2 verses. This is Krishna talking to his beloved Uddhava. So I'm going to go to verse 20 and 21, read those, and then we're going to go back to verse 3 because people ask questions. And I'll get into that. Krishna says to Uddhava, my dear Uddhava, the unalloyed devotional service rendered to me by my devotees brings me under their control. I cannot be thus controlled by those engaged in mystic yoga, Sankhya philosophy, pious work, Vedic study, austerity, or renunciation. So Krishna is saying, if you want me, if you want a close, loving relationship with me, this is the only way that you do it. You can actually, if you perform unalloyed, loving devotional service to me, you can bring me under your control, which is phenomenal. Most people can't even believe that that's possible, you see, to control God. And in verse 21, Krishna says, only by practicing unalloyed devotional service to me with full faith in me can one attain me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please turn your phones off. Please turn your volume off. Everyone. All right, thank you. So I'll start again. Only by practicing unalloyed devotional service with full faith in me can one obtain me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am naturally dear to my devotees, who take me as the only goal of their loving service. By engaging in such pure devotional service, even the dog eaters can purify themselves from the contamination of their low birth. So Krishna is saying that only by unalloyed devotional service, meaning devotional service to me and me alone, not worshiping me along with so many others, that's okay if you want to do that. You can worship anything you want. In some places in India, they worship trees. Have you noticed? They worship the forefathers, you know. They hang those little things from the trees, you know. I mean, there's so many things. People will worship just about anything. So, and you can do that. We're not going to pass judgment. But Krishna is making it very clear that if you want him, he wants all of your worship. He's very stingy like that, isn't he? I want all of it, unalloyed. Just me. Now, if you say, well, Krishna, I just want to have a little bit of you, but I want to worship, go ahead, worship anybody you want to. But if you want Krishna up close and personal, loving, then Krishna says, here is how you do it. You see? So, yeah, by the way, everybody make sure that if you don't turn your microphones on, unless you have a question, and stop me at any time with a question, but then after the question, turn your microphone back off. Okay.
Space bar. Don't have to turn the microphone. Just press the space bar. They can talk and let go of the space bar and it automatically goes to mute.
Oh, really? So okay, I've just heard that if you want to ask a question, press the space bar and that'll take you into outer space. No, press the space bar. You can ask your question and then let go of space bar. Now, I've never done that, but if Prabhu says, then it's probably true. Let's go with it. All right.
I've done that.
All right. So I'm going to go to text 3. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, by the influence of time, the transcendental sound of Vedic knowledge was lost at the time of annihilation. Therefore, when the subsequent creation took place, I spoke the Vedic knowledge to Brahma, because I myself am the religious principles enunciated in the Vedas. Krishna says, I am those principles. You see? Now, Krishna is going to, because some people wonder, well, if this is the only way to get Krishna, why are there so many religions? Why are there so many beliefs? You see, both bona fide and concocted. People concoct, as I said before, people will worship just about anything. As a matter of fact, there are millions of people today who worship the universe. It's a fact. I mean, there's people everywhere that will tell, if you say, I'm having such a troubled day, oh, put it out to the universe. So I've never understood that. Now, maybe if I'd never heard this Krishna consciousness philosophy, maybe I could say, oh, that sounds like a good idea. You see, but once we've heard even a little bit of Vedic knowledge, that just doesn't make really good sense, you see. But there are so many concocted religious principles, so many concocted paths, you see. So a concocted path will lead you nowhere. If I am worshiping the universe, what do I get? What is that? That's a path that takes you where? I mean, if you worship the demigods, you get the demigods. You go to the demigods, right? If you worship Lord Shiva, you go to Shiva. If you're worshiping, I guess if you're worshiping Mars, you'll go to Mars, you know? So I don't know. You see what I mean? But this is due to poor fund of knowledge when it comes to religion. You see, they just don't know. Now, the reason why they don't know the path is they don't know the destination. They don't know where to go. They don't really know where all this is taking them. I know I should be religious and I know I should perform pious religious activities if I'm going to get good things from God, or to protect myself from getting bad things from God, going to hell, whatever. So again, if you look at this, this is really all about me. I want to do some pious religious activities because I want something good for me, or I want to protect me from something bad. You see? So I am in the center of this. So therefore, Krishna says, Sarvadharma parityajya mamekam saranam vraja. Abandon all forms of religion. All of this. Just simply surrender to me and become my unalloyed devotee. Now, Krishna is suggesting, for those who are interested, the ultimate spiritual destination. Him, personally. Now, if you get attracted to Krishna, you'll probably forget about all of your material desires. You may not want all these other things that you were praying to God to get, or you may still want them, but you forget all about them because you've got Krishna. And having Krishna is all there is to have. It's the beginning and the end of everything. Okay, this thing times out every so often. What is the... Okay. Is there a way to make it stay on? No, that's okay. No,
You can keep your finger on that.
Next time. But
Every few minutes you can tap it.
yeah, okay. So Krishna goes on, text 4. Lord Brahma spoke this Vedic knowledge to his eldest son, Manu, and the 7 great sages headed by Bhrigu Muni, then accepted the same knowledge from Manu. From the forefathers headed by Bhrigu Muni and other sons of Brahma appeared many children and descendants who assumed different forms as demigods, demons, human beings, Bhuyakas, Siddhas, Gandharvas, Vidyaharas, Charanas, Kindevas, Kinnaras, Nagas, Purushas, and so on, all of many universal species, along with their respective leaders, appeared with different natures and desires generated from the 3 modes of material nature. Therefore, because of the different characteristics of the living entities within the universe, there are a great many Vedic rituals, mantras, and rewards. So Krishna is explaining this. He's telling you, this is how there are so many paths, because there are so many destinations that do not include Krishna. There's so many things.
Okay.
Is there a question there? Hello?
I don't think so.
Okay, I thought someone. So can you see there what this is Krishna's explanation? There were so many different, there are so many atheistic viewpoints, even.
So Krishna is saying it's because of the different types of living entities, right?
All different types of living entities. And they're all wanting something pious. And it's quote unquote spiritual to them. See, this is something we have to understand. When someone, so many people have religious practices and they refer to them as spiritual. To them, they are. To them, they are spiritual. And that's okay. If that is what you want, and if it's a destination that you know of, that you want, or maybe you don't even have a destination, but this is what you feel in your heart is a bona fide spiritual pursuit that is for you, then in your definition, it is spiritual. Now, according to Krishna, he says, but I'm the destination. I'm the ultimate destination. Why? Krishna says, I am everything. I am the offering. I'm the butter. I'm the fire. I am. It's me. It's all, everything. Everything emanates from Krishna, the supreme source. So therefore, wouldn't it stand logical that religion also come from Krishna? Unless we concoct it. The point is, Krishna is making here is that if you want me, then here is the process to follow. Then you've got to want me and want me alone, only, you see. And I want you to worship me only. So he's like that. But if you say, Krishna, I don't really need to have you. I don't need to have you. I don't need to share my love with you. I'm not looking for that. Then he says, oh, then there are so many mantras and so many hymns in the Vedas, and there's so many paths and so many things that you can follow. So off you go. Have a good life. Birth after birth after birth after birth. If that's what you want, and it is what people want, people are not really looking for God per se in their religion. Are the Buddhists looking for God? They're looking for nirvana. They want to escape all the material suffering. They want shanti. You see? The Mayavadis, they're not looking for God. They may think, I'll become God. Okay, all of us together, we're God. We can go merge into God. And you can do that. You can go to nirvana. You can go merge into the light, the Brahmjyoti. You can do that. None of this will protect you ultimately from birth and death. Even if you go into the nirvanic stage or merge into the light, chances are you're going to come back here and take birth and start it again. You see, it may be a long, long time, but without the ultimate satisfaction of you, the jiva, which is Krishna, without that love of Godhead, you will never be satisfied. Satisfaction is not available unless you have Krishna. So, and it's such a wonderful thing to achieve Krishna and pure love of Godhead, because when you get pure love of Godhead, you get Krishna. Krishna says, you have purchased me. I am yours. Now I've come under your control through your love. And it sounds like some people, they probably think that, oh, this sounds so difficult. Oh, that's why we can't tell them all the time that, hey, you'll be able to control God if you perfect your love for it. Where they're thinking, oh, that's impossible. Or that's so hard. That's so hard to do. I just want really good stuff, you know? Yeah, I mean, can't you just keep God and give me his stuff? Let me use this credit card for the weekend or something, you know? Give me a beautiful spouse and a nice expense account, give me some really good stuff, and God can stay over there. Why, God can go be with you because you want him. Why doesn't he go with you?
But
You control it.
yes, but we are human beings. We never, even though we have higher consciousness, still we don't use that consciousness.
Right.
Like that, whatever we desire except Krishna, everything will go away eventually.
Exactly. It's not that we, the bhakti yogis, that we want to learn how to control Krishna so that we can pick his pockets and get his potency, get into his bank account. We want him. We're not even considering that he has everything, and you get him, you get everything. And if you control him, you control everything. We want to be controlled by Krishna. That's the nature of the bhakti yogi. And then Krishna says, but I want you to control me, my beloved. You see? So, but if that's not what you want, then Krishna says, okay, then you can follow one of these things that sprung up. At the time of creation, it's like at the time of birth, you, the living entity, as you're coming through the birth canal, it's such a tremendous stressful moment that you forget everything. Even though you're in the womb and you're remembering, what is it, Prabhupada says, you can remember as many as 10 of your past lives? Something like that, 10. So you're in the womb and you can remember different lives, and you're praying and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do it differently this time. And so then as you get squeezed through the birth canal, it's such a tremendously stressful experience. You forget it all. You forget it all. You come out and you don't know anything. You see? So like that, at the time of recreation, which everything has been annihilated, Okay, at the end of this Kali Yuga, the end of the day of Brahma, everything is annihilated and recreated. At that time, these concocted religions and all these paths, they're all annihilated too. So then people start to follow this way, that way, this way, that way, you see. So very, very, very few actually know the proper destiny. They don't know. So any questions before I go on?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
All right, Krishna, is that Kirtaneshwar Gauranga?
Yes.
All right, Krishna.
Happy Father's Day also,
Thank you.
my spiritual father. So I have a question. It's really fascinating how you explain that there are different paths, no one knows the destination. And I was reflecting that the only way we can know the destination is by Krishna's mercy, because we have to meet a devotee. So so much of our path is mercy that some people don't come in contact with devotees. And if a soul is lucky enough to come into contact with the devotees, they can act nation. So how much of our
You were
path
breaking up on that last sentence. Go back a couple of sentences and say again.
I said so many people may have never even heard of Krishna
Right.
unless they meet the devotee. So how much is our effort and how much is Krishna's mercy?
How much is what?
Our effort and how much is Krishna's mercy?
Basically, our effort is when we start to desire. We get the proper desires, Krishna will make the arrangement. Or it could be, I mean, Krishna doesn't have to follow anything. He could say, you know what? I like you. I like you. So I'm going to send you my devotee. Hey, this is Gorgadadhar, my devotee. I want you to meet him and his family. They're going to tell you about me, then I will become your destination. You'll think, oh, because I've met these people, now I know about this Krishna. Krishna, will become your destination as well as your destiny. Why? How much effort did you put forth? Well, you first of all desired. Then you met my devotee, and my devotee gave you my devotee's books, which is like giving you me, giving Krishna to you. Now you put forth the effort of hearing. Starts with Shravanam. We hear. First we hear. Kirtanam. We speak. We chant about Krishna. So hearing and chanting. Chanting Hare Krishna. That way now I'm living with Krishna. If I'm chanting Hare Krishna, to the degree that I chant Hare Krishna, I am living with Krishna. If you chant Hare Krishna all the time, you're with Krishna all the time. You see? So this becomes your destiny, your destination. And what happens when you're so fortunate to get plugged into this bhakti yoga pursuit is it occupies your mind. As a matter of fact, it pushes out all of the philosophies that you'd heard of before. I know many people who have practiced many different religions, looking for the path, the right way. I myself, I was born into the Jewish religion, then I got into the Baptist religion, not because I wanted to be a Baptist, but because, well, for other reasons. Wanted to have fun, you know.
It was that girl.
It was a pretty girl, and she invited me to Baptist church. And then from that into impersonalism, Eckankar. I mean, it's so many things that I tried. Let me try this and let me try that. You see? But none of them gave me the proper destination to pursue. Otherwise, I would have never left them. The difference between Krishna consciousness and other religions is that there's no way you can leave because you want this destination. I want this Krishna. Gee whiz, I didn't know I could control Krishna. I didn't know he comes under my control. That makes me feel a little uncomfortable. I'm not looking to do that. I want I want to come under his control. You see? But Krishna's reciprocal. Yes, but I want you to control me. Oh, but Krishna, I want you to control me. No, you control me. No, you control me. You see, this is the nature of love of Godhead. You see, so we get into this, and we can't get out of it because it gives us a destination. Krishna consciousness is the first true spiritual destination that we come in contact with. Does that answer your question, Kirtaneshwar?
Yes, it's clear. Ultimately we have to get that mercy to start to do, the mercy comes when we start to desire, correct?
Yeah, now I remember that part of your question. Is it more our effort or mercy? It's all mercy. And in the beginning, our effort is we have a desire. We may be just thinking, oh, Krishna, oh, God, I know you're there. I remember thinking like that at one point in my life. I had chased so many different pursuits. And I remember saying, oh, God, I know you're there. I believe you're there. Can you just show yourself somehow? Give me I'm tired of all this. I've tried all these different things. I've tried economic development, money, all these things of intoxication, so many things. So I had the desire. And so then Krishna sends his devotees. We meet his devotees. So then you may meet a Sankirtan devotee. He gives you a book. So now you have Krishna. Sooner or later, you will meet, hopefully sooner, but it could be later, you will meet your guru. Your guru will take you to the next level. Now you may be practicing some bhakti yoga, but when you meet guru, then the guru will deputize you. Which means now your spiritual activities are now authorized. Now you're authorized to do this, you see. Otherwise, we can do spiritual activity. It has effect. It has a great effect. But it has a much greater effect once you're authorized by the guru. Why do we need that? Because if I don't have that, I may have a tendency to speculate and make up my own, as I've always done. For billions of births, we've done that. We fall in with speculators that have pretty much made up their own destiny and their own path. And it's bona fide, those paths, well, most of them, some of these paths are not bona fide, but they're all bona fide. The destinations are bona fide. They're there, but they're not Krishna. They won't give you the ultimate satisfaction of transcendental love. So does that answer the question?
Yes, that's clear. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
So can I just ask another extension of what?
Yeah. Gorgadadhar is going to ask a question.
Very quick thing. I like very nice question, Prabhu. So one thing, Prabhu, like there may be a chance like hippies in Ashbury area, they were not looking for Krishna. They did not have that desire. But then Prabhupada kind of brought them all into Krishna consciousness, even without their desire.
Right.
So how do you explain that?
Yeah, and that's a good, I'm glad you brought that up. Even though you may not have the desire, you may be just going through life minding your own business. Pursuit of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's what everyone used to talk about in the 60s. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Those were the three things that would give you enjoyment. And that's all you care about. You see, maybe you had renounced religious life altogether. Maybe you were an atheist. You see, but the potency of Krishna's pure devotee, one of these persons who is practicing unalloyed devotional service, it will rub off on you. It will hit you. And that's explained in one of these verses that I'm going to read here in just a moment. Krishna explains how that phenomena happens. You see, let me see. Okay, hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's here somewhere. It's hard for me to remember. Okay, hold on. I thought I remembered the verse. There's so many verses here.
Mhm.
Listen to this. Krishna says, with the dust of my devotees' lotus feet.
Which word is this? Sorry.
Huh?
Which words?
Oh, 14.
Okay.
No, hold it. 16.
Okay, thank you.
Krishna says, with the dust of my devotees' lotus feet, I desire to purify the material worlds, which are situated within me. Thus, I always follow the footsteps of my pure devotees, who are free from all personal desire, wrapped in thought of my pastimes, peaceful, without any feelings of enmity, and of equal disposition everywhere. Wow. So Krishna kind of, he's revealing his secrets. Krishna can reveal his secrets because he doesn't have anything to worry about you knowing his secrets. But these are secrets. So other people, many faiths, they're too much envious of one another to recognize that one of us may be advanced. You see, the devotees, we can see that everyone is more advanced than me. If you're a devotee of Krishna, you have some of this potency. When you hear this, the average devotee, practically all devotees are going to say, that doesn't include me.
Mhm.
Krishna is not talking about me here. But when I read this, I think of all of you. Of course, Krishna is talking about you. Because you're doing this, you're influencing and therefore changing the world. By distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, by distributing prasadam, by distributing the holy name in Harinam, you're engaged. You're complicit in Krishna's secret plan. You've been, what is it when the government pulls you into the army?
Empower.
Huh?
Empower.
Inducted or
Draft.
drafted. Yeah, you've been drafted. Krishna has said, all right, you're going to serve me, and I'm going to give you the stuff that's going to change the world. So let me read that again. With the dust of my devotees' lotus feet, I desire to purify the material worlds. Wow. He doesn't say, I'm going to come and scare the heck out of everybody myself. Krishna could come. That's like right now, they're talking about the possibility of aliens. There could be aliens from outer space, so Krishna could come like on Garuda. If he came on Garuda, they would look at him, oh, he's an alien. He's going to control the world. Well, he already controls the world, you see. So Krishna could do this. He could scare anybody and everybody into submission, you see. But he doesn't want to do that. He wants you to do it for him.
Mhm.
This will give him great pleasure to see you do this service. This is the highest service. He wants all the fallen conditioned souls in all of the worlds, in the material world, to come home. This is his greatest desire. And he's going to let you do the highest service for him, that which will please him more than anything. He's going to let you do it. This makes you love each other more and more. You see, this is his process. We can see the personality of Krishna if we just analyze. With the dust of my devotees' lotus feet, I desire to purify the material worlds which are situated within me. All these material worlds are within him anyway. Thus, I always follow the footsteps of my pure devotees who are free from personal desire. Wow, that's the qualification. The devotee can do what Krishna wants because he has no independent personal desire of his own. Therefore, when he says, oh, my dear Krishna, when he chants Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he really means it. Hey, Krishna, engage me in your loving devotional service. I can do it because I don't have any other desire other than to do that. I want what you want. So therefore, because he has no material desires, no personal desires of his own, no self-interest, well, now his chanting can be effective because he doesn't have any caveats to that. My dear Krishna, please engage me in your loving devotional service, so long as it doesn't interfere with my television time, my schoolwork, because I want to get a great education, or I don't want it to interfere with my job because I need a lot of money and I still want all those other things. But whatever time I have left over, you can have some of that. Not all of it, because some of it I'm just going to want to kind of kick back and do nothing. You see, that's not unalloyed devotional service. So to the point that you're actually surrendered, can you do it again? To the point that you're actually surrendered, meaning I don't have anything else that I want to do, Krishna. This is all I want. To that degree, then you can become empowered. And Krishna will say, yes, well, I'll open doors to the world so that you can serve me in this way. Does that make any sense, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Those who are without any desire for personal gratification, whose minds are always attached to me, who are peaceful, without false ego, and merciful to all living entities, and whose consciousness is never affected by opportunities for sense gratification, such persons enjoy me in a happiness that cannot be known or achieved by those lacking such detachment from the material world. Krishna says you can't experience me fully unless you meet these qualifications. You see? So you can see that Krishna is a very demanding guy. When it comes to gods, he's probably the most demanding because he wants all of you. He wants all of your thoughts. But it's not a struggle. It's not like, oh gosh, what a hard thing to do, give Krishna all my thoughts, because he really is so attractive, so wonderful, beautiful, charming, loving. You see, he really is that. He's worth it. And it's not really a tremendous effort. You know, it may be an effort in the beginning, but after some point, Krishna starts to reel you in. Once he gets you hooked, he reels you in. He gives you more of him. You
But no,
see?
like let's say someone doesn't meet all these requirements fully. So then what is Krishna's response to that?
Well, you will in time. It's like a lot of people, you ever notice when some people become devotees, they get advanced real quick. And you find people saying, wow, they got advanced in Krishna consciousness so quickly. They got initiated quickly, first initiation, second initiation. They're doing so much service. And other people, it takes a while. It takes them a while. It doesn't mean that if it takes you longer, that you don't have the intelligence. It's that you were kind of hanging on to some material desire, you see. It's like when you go, it's like, here in this part of the world, there's a lot of hills when you're driving, like that hill when you're coming here or going. So you go over that hill and you start going fast, right? So what do? You tap the brake. Now you don't really stop. Would you do that? Try, you go over that first hill and you're going down that steep hill. Car's going faster and faster and faster. You don't stop. No, but you'll tap the brake, slow it down. Why? Because this is happening too quickly. That's very common. People become a devotee of Krishna. Wow, my life is changing so quickly. Wow, this is happening fast. So Krishna is saying, come, yes, you're on the right path. You're going to get me. And we're thinking, well, but I still have other desires. So you tap the brake, slow it down. You see, if you don't tap the brake going over that hill, going out of this subdivision, you'll end up going 60 miles an hour by the time isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if we don't tap the brake when we become Krishna consciousness and start to perform devotional service and chant Hare Krishna, if we don't, then it starts to happen fast. I mean, it happens before you know it. You become swept away. It's like they say when someone falls in love, they were swept off their feet. It's like you're hit by a tsunami. So that's what happens. And so we have a tendency to kind of tap the brake. That's what slows us down. Some people, doesn't mean they're bad people. It means that sometimes it takes a little bit longer to let go of material desires. Does that answer the question? Was that your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, it's an excellent question. Anybody else have any questions? Just good questions today.
But sometimes, Prabhu, like if we don't stop ourselves for those desires, Prabhu, we maybe fall into more and more into Maya, Prabhu.
We can't. That's a good point. We see people that get into Maya and they may stay just a little while. Some people get into Maya and they get deeper and deeper and deeper into Maya. So it's like I read this thing one time that you don't drown by falling in water. You drown by staying in water once you fell in. So you don't fall down by getting in Maya. You fall down by staying in Maya. You see?
Sure.
How long you stay.
Yeah.
The longer you stay in, the dirtier your consciousness gets. So some people may go away for a while. And then when they come back, they've picked up more contamination while they were in Maya. But with taking up devotional service again, chanting Hare Krishna again, very quickly, they're right back. Prabhupada says all you have to do If once you leave devotional service, all you have to do when you come back is take it up again. You don't have to go out in the forest and meditate for years, or you don't have to, there's no punishment. Oh, you were in Maya, so we have to do something mean and nasty to you, or, we have to lock you up, like we'll put you in jail, or there's no punishment. You've already had the punishment. You were in Maya. You're coming back to get away from the punishment.
Yeah.
You've already had it. It's like when they let people out of prison, they don't hang around. You think people, when they open the big gates and they say, okay, there you go, you're free, you've served your time. They don't say, well, before I leave, I'd like one more prison meal, or let's go hang around with my prison buddies a little bit. They're like out that gate. They don't even look back. They're just like, let me out of here. So the person coming out of Maya is very much like that. They don't come back to devotional service until they've been kicked by Maya enough. You see, they've already had their punishment. So we don't have to punish them. They're coming back to this devotee mercy. They're coming for Krishna's mercy. Where do you get Krishna's mercy? From the devotee. Now, you'll get mercy from Krishna too, generally through his devotees. You see, he's got it all set up. He has this whole thing. It's all programmed, you see. You return to the devotees. It's not like you're practicing devotional service and then you fall down and now you want to get out of Maya. So I think I'll go, maybe go to the Himalayas and sit out on a cliff all alone and meditate. No, people want to get back with the devotees. I want Harinam. I want Prasadam. I want Rath Yatra. I want my life back. You see, I want the good stuff back. You see, it's not like they want something else. So that's why they come back. So any more questions before I go on? All right, text 18. Krishna says, my dear Uddhav, if my devotee has not fully conquered his senses, he may be harassed by material desires. But because of his unflinching devotion for me, he will not be defeated by sense gratification. Whoa, this is like an insurance policy. This is reassuring, isn't it? My dear Uddhav, just as if my devotee has not fully conquered his senses, who has fully conquered their senses? This is talking about all of us. If you haven't fully controlled your senses, then you may be harassed by material desires. This is harassment, But because of unflinching devotion for me, he will not be defeated by sense gratification. There might be some fall down, but it's temporary. It's like if you have someone who's in a race, there's a bunch of runners, and they're running in a race, and here you are, and you're like number 3, and there's a whole bunch of people behind you, and you trip, and you fall down. But then you get back up, and you end up winning the race. Does it ever matter that you fell down? Why? It's going to be, people will praise you. Even though he fell down, he still won the race. You see? Key thing is to stay attached to Krishna. Always remember Krishna. If there's some harassment, to whatever degree you surrender to that harassment, you may,
Is it about winning the race or is it about completing that race?
that is winning. You know,
That-
we're not
that's where my understanding is.
we're not trying to beat everyone else.
Yeah.
We're trying to complete that
Complete.
course. What is that course? Getting Krishna in our arms, in our embrace.
Well, yeah, it's not a competition between the devotees. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Because we're not trying to beat each other. As a matter of fact, if someone falls, we're going to stop and pick them up, dust them off, treat their wounds, help them. You see, it doesn't matter if others are moving on.
Even sometimes chastise them.
Huh?
Sometimes chastise them.
We might even chastise them,
Do correct
little
their
bit,
devotional service.
you know?
Yeah.
So we're in a hurry to get back to Krishna. But when it comes time to helping everyone else, we've got all the time in the world. Because that's part of our service, to help other people. That's what Krishna wants. I'm helping you. I'm giving you mercy through my devotees. Now you return that favor. Do what my devotees are doing to help you. Krishna wants to see, he wants to follow in the dust of your lotus feet as well. He wants to see you purified more and more and more, closer and closer to him. And as you come, think of it, as you're coming closer and closer to Krishna, how many people are following behind you? Through the influence that you've had from those souls that you touched. And you, because you were a devotee of Krishna. Even if it's just a tiny bit, even if you just gave somebody a book or fed someone some prasadam, like you feed the homeless people, you just, all you did was just give them that plate and that's it. You never see them again. Those people will be following you. You saved them. At some point, if you're on Harinam, how many times when we're on Harinam do people join in and dance a little bit and chant? Just think of what you did. So as you go back to Krishna, you've got all these living entities that are being pulled along by your mercy. You're taking Krishna's mercy and you're distributing it. Now, not that we get puffed up and say, oh, gee whiz, look at me. Why, I've got so many. No, we don't think like that. All right, any questions before I go on from anybody? Krishna Charan's cooking. I can't help but wonder what cooking.
Yeah. Figured it. So much for the wonderful class. I wanted to see Alex.
I can't make out what you're saying.
Okay.
Oh,
I had
much
to turn
better.
off my speaker.
Oh,
Thank you so much for the wonderful class. I just wanted to let you see Alex and Karina.
hey, Hare Krishna. Hari, Hari.
Haribo.
I was looking at some pictures of the two that had the two of you in there today. So it's so nice that I get to see you. I just happened to think, I wonder what wonderful things they're cooking for Lord Jagannath today in El Paso.
Oh, we really went all out today, so we're gonna send you a picture a little later.
Oh, good. Good.
Thank you so much, Guru Dave.
All
Really
right.
appreciate it. We'll be respectfully bowing out now.
Okay. You take
Thank
care
you.
because he's got a feast to put on. All right. All
Hare
glories to
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada.
I'll go to Srila
All
Prabhupada.
glories
Thank you,
to
Guru Dave.
Srila Prabhupada. Lord Jagannath lives there.
Oh,
He's got big Jagannath deities. So those are the deities that ride the cart in El Paso. They live there all the time. So
this starting a new center also in El Paso, right?
hmm?
They're starting some new center also.
No, not that I know of.
Maybe somewhere else then. I'm just mixing up.
There were some people talking about starting a new center there, but they never did it.
Oh.
You know, I'll explain later on what that was all about. I think it was the efforts of another Sampradaya,
Oh.
but who knows?
Mhm.
Krishna goes on, one who has fixed his consciousness on me desires neither the position or abode of Lord Brahma or Lord Indra, nor an empire on earth, nor sovereignty in the lower planetary systems, nor the eightfold perfection of yoga, nor liberation from birth and death. Such a person desires me alone.
Which verse is this?
That was 14. So can you see Krishna is the greatest, he's the supreme communicator. I mean, have you ever seen anybody who makes their position so clear? Krishna can say something 1,000,000 times, and it sounds like each time is the first time. It's like he says, let me rephrase that. Just in case your dull head did not get it. Let me rephrase that. You see? So he keeps repeating. I mean, it's so beautiful. You can see Krishna he's the king of outreach. Once he gets you to read his books, then he tries so hard to communicate with you, to get his message across. He's saying here, my devotee desires neither the position or abode of Lord Brahma or Lord Indra.
Mhm.
Wow. So, in other words, it wasn't enough that I say in the previous verse that you have no self-desire. No, he's going to describe it to you. Let me tell you what I mean. Can I make myself clear here? You see, just so we understand. And that's something that we really have to appreciate about Krishna. So, no self-desire. That would mean you don't even desire to have Lord Indra's planet. You see? Are we clear here? Are you following me? And so, anyway, nor the eightfold perfection of yoga. But I want to go, I want to be a devotee, Krishna, and I'd kind of like to go back to Godhead and all that stuff. But I want to perfect yoga first, because that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? I just joined a yoga club, and I pay like $100 a month, and I get to go twist and breathe and they teach me how to sit. Wouldn't it be better, Krishna, if I learned how to sit and how to breathe and how to stretch? Well, Krishna says clearly here, no. You come home, I'll give you your spiritual body back that you left. And it knows how to sit, it knows how to breathe. It doesn't need any exercise.
Mhm.
But if that's what you want, then go stretch and breathe and sit and do all these, you can go do that. But that means you don't want me. If you want me, then, hey, I've got other things that you can do. So if you want to go do the stretchy and the breathy and the sitting and all that, not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying you're not going to get me. You see, that's maybe getting ready to get me. He's given you a chance to bypass that. And I like this verse. I'm going to repeat this again in closing. Krishna says, my dear Uddhava, Neither Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Sankashan, the goddess of fortune, nor indeed my own self are as dear to me as you are. Ultimately, sparing his heart. Krishna can make himself vulnerable because he has nothing to fear. He knows he's God. Now, people, it's hard for people to bare their soul sometimes, to make themselves vulnerable to other people because they're afraid of getting hurt. Can you imagine how vulnerable Krishna can make himself to you? Because he has no fear. He is the death of death personified. You see? So can you imagine the depth of the conversations of love that you can have with Krishna? So this is something that we need to think about. Are there any questions before we close? It's about time to wrap it up, isn't it? Any questions or comments, criticisms before we go? Any and everybody?
Probably one very quick question here.
Yeah.
So, like definitely there is so much services that can be done in Krishna consciousness, like but we fall short on doing just a bare minimum. So that kind of sometimes there's a lack of satisfaction, like when we perform like service, like because we want to do it better, we want to do more.
Right.
So even though like little bit that as we are hearing from this verse is actually, Krishna has just opened up everything. Like, there is nothing left actually.
Right.
So what's the cause of that dissatisfaction in the heart actually, like where we feel like, no, we could have done more. We could have.
That is love. Because of love for Krishna. Now, you may say, but I don't have pure love of Godhead. But you know what? You've got enough that you're being. This is what holds the devotee on the path of devotional service. Because we've developed, maybe we're not pure in our love yet. We haven't developed pure Krishna prema. But we have enough love that we care. We care. That's it. I did something and I'm thinking, oh, Krishna, it should have been better. Not because I'm criticizing myself, it's because of my love for Krishna. I'm thinking, oh, I should have, and I could have done better. I should have tried harder. I should have done this. I should have done that. Only because we care. If we didn't care, then we may say, hey, look, Krishna, I did it. What does it take to make you satisfied? You're always demanding from me. You're always picking on me. No, but that's just love. And it's within you. It's internal. This is part of this transcendental love with Krishna. This is the thing, because you're so in tune with making it perfect for your beloved. This is part of what gets him under your control. That very thing that you care so much for me, that you're always concerned that what you're doing isn't good enough. You see, that's very sweet. Can you see how that would draw him in and start to get him under your control? If you have that in your heart, then Krishna's always trying to help you in your efforts to do better. We need his resources. We can't do it without his resources. What resources do we have? What do you bring to the table? So we're like the sunshine, but he is the sun. We are the energy, but he's the energetic. But for us to exist, we depend on the energetic, you see. So we can desire Krishna's resources to do so many billions of things, to do harm, to do good, to make ourselves famous, to make ourselves rich, so many things. And so Krishna's, he has this whole setup to where you can be rewarded according to your desires. And if you want a religion that makes you feel good, I'm an honest religious man. And I do this because I get great rewards. You see, so that's a pious religion. God will give me rewards because I'm honest, I'm good. You see, the new age people nowadays, they have this thing of thinking that if we're just honest and we think positive and we always say positive, they act this role that the world is all good because of me thinking of good. And the thing of it is, I've met these people. Sometimes they have to stay in that character. You see, it's like this one Swami that I know up in Sedona of a different Mayavad Sampradaya. He's a friend of mine, but he's Mayavadi. He was talking about, he had COVID. I was up there visiting his ashram, he lets me go give class in his ashram, you know. And so, and he was talking about having COVID. And I said, oh, Maharaj, I'm so sad to hear that you had that COVID. And he said, it was God's desire. So sometimes I have to, you know, it's like I smell a shark and it's like blood in the water, you know, and I have to try to be innocent about it and say, oh, wait a minute. So it was God's desire that you get sick and suffer? You know, and then before he starts to stumble for an answer, then I change the subject, you know, but I just want to plant that. First of all, you're a Mayavadi and you don't believe that God has any will or any desire, you see. So he's just saying that to stay in character. So now you've got what I wanted to say. Now you've got this evil God that wanted you to have COVID. So I can understand why you want him not to have a personality, but I didn't say that, not in so many words anyway. So you see. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up. Are there any questions or comments from anyone out there? Are you still there? Kirtaneshwar Gauranga?
I'm still here, yes.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. So I wish you all a good day. Let's see who else. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Bye, Gurudev. Happy Father's Day.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Jai
Jai.
Hare.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Hare.
Stop the recording.